Hello everyone, Michelle here, and in today's video we're going to take a pretty chill. We're going to go over the lenses that I have for my Sony a7 III and kind of go quickly through what I use them in, like which case scenario, most used, the least used lenses, as well as my wish list. Okay, so let's just jump straight into it. The most used lens that I have is the one not shown here because it's the one that I'm using right now. It's the 16-35. It is my one and only G Master lens. Like, I spent a pretty penny on this one. I think technically I'm still paying it off, to be honest. Is this one that you're seeing right here. It's the one that's super popular all over on YouTube, 16-35, regardless of what system you use and brand. Just because of that wide angle you can get at the 16 makes great for vlogging, or if you're out trying to just show your, kind of do like an establishing shot. So for me, I use the 16-35 99% of the time for talking head stuff for YouTube. Vlogging, again, if you know me, then you know that I don't really do a lot of vlogging, but if I do in the rare occasions, again, that's also been using the 16-35. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I bought this lens right before I went to my Europe trip. And so this is the lens that I took along with the, I think I ended up bringing also the 50mm, but to be honest, I think I primarily used that one because I was like super excited. So that's the most used lens. I just had it for a little over a year now. Yeah. A little over a year. I bought it at a great deal for, I think it was like Black Friday, end of the year, like holiday specials. Plus, I think I had like 2 years to pay it off. Again, I'm almost done, but nevertheless, that's probably one of the most expensive lenses that I bought, and I'm super, super happy with it. I think it was totally worth the money, again, because I use it so much, pretty much for everything that I use. And lately, I've also been using it for work, for product photography, mainly because I can get it down to, if I can remember, what's the lowest? 2.8. Because of that aperture point at 2.8, it allows me to really get that nice shallow depth of field in the product that I'm shooting for work specifically. And because I do have to resize the images to like certain different ratio aspects for their needs, I like that I can shoot at the 16 and I can crop in and I'm still gonna get really sharp image out of it. So that's how I use the 16-35. Now next up, as the other one that I use a lot is going to be, which is one of the newest lenses as well, is the 24-105. Now this one isn't a G Master lens, it's just I think I mistakenly said that it was in my previous video. It might have been the unboxing or review or something, which I'll be posting. One of the videos that I shot primarily with the 24-105, it was the day that it arrived. I was shooting the Skyrim Feast video. Even though it's the video that I am most proud of and like super pleased with how it turned out, it like totally failed. As for you guys, I guess that just wasn't interesting to you guys, but nevertheless, I'll be leaving that up here in case you want to check it out. But I shot that video, the Skyrim like feast video, a good 80% was done on the 24-105. Again, that morning as we were prepping to shoot, this thing arrived, and it was awesome because my sister was doing all the cooking and I was just kind of recording around her. Getting it to the 105 range and being able to not be like right next to her was awesome. And I love the quality out of this. Even though it's not a G Master, it's still really sharp. It does only go down to f4, I believe, especially at the 105 range. You really can't stop it down too low. But because of the compression at 105, it still gives you really good bokeh. Now this thing I was able to get at a pretty good price. I think I bought it used, if I remember correctly. I don't know why I'm having like so many brain farts today, but I think I bought this used B&H for 800 bucks, give or take, and I'm really, really pleased with it. I bought the Polar Pro Lens Defender Cap. It fits perfectly on this one, and I just love how sturdy it is. This is definitely my second most used lens out of my entire kit that I use, again, primarily because of that 105 range. I love it. And we'll go, and this will kind of play on what my next lens one day would hopefully be like. But this thing is awesome for close-ups. I do use this sometimes for work, for product photography, but not too much. Again, because I can only get it down to an f4, it's not as sharp as my 16-35. And because I do have to do a lot of resizing, zooming in, cropping in, all that stuff, I do prefer the 16-35, but I have used and I continue using the 24-105 for work and for YouTube stuff. So this is probably one of my favorites. I'm actually really tempted to use this as my all-around travel lens, as me trying to keep my kit as small as possible. I don't know yet, still got time since there's no like real vacation happening anytime soon. But that was some planning and ideas as well behind of buying this one. So this was a great purchase. I absolutely really like this lens. Now next up, I mean, the next 3 lenses aren't as exciting or cool or even used as much as the 2 lenses that I just went over. The next up was the kit lens that I bought when I first bought the Sony a7 III, and that's the, 28-70. It was, again, like I said, it's a kit lens, super lightweight. It does its job. It did its job for the very first several months of me purchasing this whole set, this new system, the Sony system. This one was the lens that I used for my talking head for YouTube when I first got the Sony. I would use it at the 28. It was still a little bit too cropped in, especially when I was in recording in my bedroom. I had very limited space, so I had to put this far away, but I didn't have an extension thing for my mic, so I had to think about that too. I couldn't be too far away from my microphone. So it just kind of made like talking head situations not that great. At the 70 range, it was kind of nice, but again, this isn't the most sharpest lens out there. I know a more popular lens than this one is going to be the 24-70, if I'm not mistaken, and I think that is a G Master. You could get a G Master version equivalent of it, but obviously those are going to be a lot more expensive. And because at the time of when I purchased this, I didn't have any Sony lenses prior to purchasing the Sony a7 III. It was a new system. I had sold everything from Canon, and I didn't really want to do a converter to Canon to use my Canon lenses, partly because I never really invested in great lenses. So I knew that that was going to change coming into the Sony. I really wanted to invest in good lens, hence the 16-35, the 24-105, but I needed something to be able to record and to shoot for work, because I was still in video work at the time. So I had to go with the kit lens. Along with the kit lens, I also bought the 50, because pretty much everyone needs a 50 in their kit. Now this one too, I got it's not like the best out there, but this one is really, really good, especially for the price. I'll try to put the price down for all of these because I can't remember at the top of my head, but this is the f1.8. It's awesome, it's lightweight, it's small, I really do like it. I don't use this as often anymore, which it kind of makes me sad because this is a really good lens. It's very sharp. So when I know that I can get close up or I need close up, whether it be photos or video, lately especially, I've been trying to reach out for this one, but there haven't been too many situations that I could use such a tight lens. But this one has been great. I did use this a lot when I first bought it. Again, I did buy this at the time of purchasing the Sony camera. So this thing was really awesome, especially for portraits. The Nifty 50, everyone knows it. And this was a really good, pretty good deal as well. Now this last one is a really just like curveball, odd lens that not everyone, I'm not going to recommend it to you. I'm not going to say you need this because you really don't. Pergear, I believe is how you pronounce it, was awesome enough to send this out for me to review several months back, which I'll post up here in case you missed it. But this is a fisheye lens. This is again from Pergear. It is a 7.5 millimeter. I believe it's an f2.8. I mean, this thing gets really low. It's awesome and great low light, obviously with that f2.8. It's pretty awesome, but I don't ever really use it. I thought I would. I tried coming up with like cool ideas of situations that I could use it, but again, it just didn't work out. Plus, this is actually meant for crop lenses, like for the Sony line. So I do have, it's not like, what's the right word I want to say? It's not optimized for a full frame Sony camera. However, for the price range, because I think this is less than $200, definitely under $300. Again, I'll be posting the price exactly. And I mean, it's cool to have. Maybe it is kind of a gimmicky lens, you know, you're not going to use this on a day-to-day basis. But if you are looking for something a little bit different, you want to have a different, or maybe challenge yourself to take different pictures, then yeah, I definitely would recommend, if you are in the market for an inexpensive fisheye lens, go with Pergear. They're again, really great company. I like them, good customer service, and it won't like hurt your wallet. So this is kind of the oddball lens that I have. I do wish, one quick complaint was that this lens cap falls off really quickly. So if you do travel around with it, I highly suggest you like wrapping a rubber band around it, just to ensure that this lens cap isn't going to pop up during travel or transport, because this is a pretty big lens. I don't know if you guys can see, it pops out, and you do not want to scratch it, because if you do, that'll just ruin your images. So I don't have like a fascinating lineup of lenses, but I did want to go ahead and share with you, since we're still in the beginnings parts of 2021. This is what I have. This is what I use to do all of my YouTube stuff, all of my professional work as well, any freelance jobs. This is my kit. Now on to, really quickly, my wish list. My next lens that I would absolutely love to have, that I don't know when I'll be able to, because oh my God, that price tag is crazy, is the 100 to 400 millimeter lens. Wow, the Sony one. Hoo-wee, man, that thing has been on my wish list for quite some time. I think since I bought the Sony, actually, I started looking into lenses, and I fell in love with that focal length. The images you can get, especially when you're out in like landscape. If you are a follower of Lizzie Pierce, I know that's one of her most used lenses as well. And if you've seen, I think it's like a video podcast interview kind of thing that Peter McKinnon does. He hasn't done too many, but there's like a few that he's done. I think he did one with Chris Howe, he did one with Lizzie Pierce. But if you listen to the one with Lizzie Pierce, you'll see that a lot of the images that she's most proud of, or that she has interesting stories behind, were shot on the 100 to 400 millimeter lens. And I already had that lens on my wish list again for like a while now. But when I saw that video and I saw the images that she got out of it, why she uses it, how she uses it, it like really enticed me to have that be my next lens. Again though, man, that thing is just barely under $3,000 for a lens. And I know, and I literally just said I want to start investing in lenses, and that is one that I want to have. Honestly, other than that one, I don't really have a lens that I like absolutely want to get, that I would love to try a I think it's a 90 millimeter lens, the prime lens. That looks awesome, but it's still not, it doesn't go over the 100 to 400 millimeter lens. So I'm hoping one day I can get that. I definitely don't think I'll be able to get it this year, by all means. Again, I'm trying to buckle down and like pay off stuff and just not spend money. I don't necessarily need it. I have been enjoying and getting a really good compression out of the 105 point range, but one day, that's my wish list, is the 100 to 400. But comment down below, let me know what lenses you currently have, what's on your wish list, or if you're wanting to change into a complete different system. I know that's always like something hard, because I'm locking down on Sony. You know, I cannot imagine, especially if I get that lens, the 100 to 400, and then like one day wake up, you're like, oh, you know what? I want to go to Fuji, or I want to go back to Canon, and like having to start over on lenses. No, me getting that lens is like a concrete, this is it, I'm Team Sony until I die. But that's it for today. I just really wanted to quickly share what I have in my kit. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you guys have, what you're guys shooting with, or what you are wanting to shoot, what your wish list is. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, because that helps the channel a whole bunch. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.